This week on The Rock, we will go into detail about the First Amendment,
the history of Thanksgiving, and why Anacortes High School is grateful.
Three, two, 1, 0.
And I'm Amelia Worry, and welcome to the 8th episode of The Rock this year.
We hope you have been enjoying our show this year as we have focused more on accurate journalism.
We believe the First Amendment is very important and value that we can express ourselves freely.
Everyone knows the basic definition of freedom of speech, but do you know all the rights that the First Amendment gives you?
Eddie Clark and John Harrison focus on the First Amendment and how it applies in students' everyday lives.
The right to bear arms, the right to a fair trial, voting rights. All of these were major changes to the basic Constitution of the United States. However, none is more important than the freedom of speech. This town has seen its fair share of First Amendment demonstrations, from protests on commercial to various art pieces scattered around town. We spoke to a few students and staff members on what the First Amendment is and how it affects their daily lives.
One of the ways that people have expressed themselves is, through signs, bumper stickers on cars. If they are a supporter of a certain candidate or of a certain idea, I remember a bumper sticker that we grew up with that said, pavement is forever, in reference to the idea that when you start taking the natural kind of beauty of our world and you begin to create shopping malls and put parking lots down, and that was the way people expressed themselves. I think our biggest challenge in today's day and age is the digital age and how the First Amendment applies to what we do online and our blogs that we're involved in, our emails, and how we express ourselves.
The First Amendment affects my life in many ways. For example, since I'm president, I actually seek out student voice and student opinions, which the First Amendment protects.
Like every aspect of freedom in America is connected to freedom of speech, because if you can't say certain things, then that means you can't do certain things, and if you can't do certain things, then where's the freedom in that?
We are the future. We are the future of this country, and the First Amendment protects our rights to free speech, so freedom of opinion and our views. It protects freedom of the press, and it protects freedom of religion. So
it just goes to show that freedom of speech is an important right that all Americans cherish.
Speaking of being thankful for things, Thanksgiving is only a week away.
Oh, I can't wait to have lots of turkey and mashed potatoes. But Thanksgiving is not all about food.
Luckily, Zane Butler and Abby Davis bring us a segment that explains the history of Thanksgiving.
As you all know, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We asked students to tell us the Thanksgiving story and how the holiday came to be.
Thanksgiving is when you eat a bunch of food and watch football.
Pilgrims and natives didn't like each other, but then they were like, hey, let's make treaties and stuff. And then they had a feast with corn and turkey, I'm assuming.
It's about eating stuff that's not vegan. First of all, it's pilgrims and natives coming together as one, celebrating with food.
Now that several students have told us what they believe to be the Thanksgiving story, Mr. Welk explains the actual history behind the holiday.
So Thanksgiving begins with the Pilgrims who came across the Atlantic and landed at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts, and they were very ill and really had a tough winter in 1620 when they came over, and as a result they eventually befriended a group of local Indians, and one of the Indians named Squanto showed them how to grow corn and to fish and do all these things. And so it really took the groups through the spring and into the summer, and they were able to eventually flourish with their corn crop. And as a token of thanks, William Bradford, the governor, invited the local Indian group to come and basically have a festival of thanks. And the tradition actually carried on again for years after that. And as a result, when President Washington came into office, he devoted days of thanks also. And then Abraham Lincoln decided, in the midst of the Civil War, to have the final Thursday of November as a day of thanks. And that date has stuck with us. And we look at Thanksgiving as an opportunity to give thanks for a lot of things. And you know, it really gives us an opportunity, though, as Americans, to reflect, you know, back on our history and upon what we have.
Throughout history, Thanksgiving has been a time to gather with close friends and family.
We have lots to be thankful for and reflect on.
Maddie Herring and Georgia Stoltz who talked to some students this week who shared what they're thankful for.
This Thanksgiving, most of us will be celebrating by seeing our family and our friends and giving thanks to them. But what else are students today just grateful for? We interviewed a couple students here in the library to see what they're thankful for this holiday season. What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
This Thanksgiving, I'm pretty thankful for my parents. They do a lot to support my family, and they really push me to do stuff like shave my head and be in a play. And they put food on the table every night, and they make sure that I have clothing to go to school in, and I'm really thankful for that.
My friends, my family, the food, also my friends and family. I'm thankful for my bud.
Probably my friends.
Yeah, my friends, that's pretty much it.
My dog. What are some ways you guys show your gratitude, kind of in everyday life?
I guess saying thank you, like saying thank you. Yeah, just having a positive attitude and being nice.
And like giving back, like trying to do things for other people as well.
I try to treat everybody with the respect I want to be treated with, and because I'm thankful that they treat me with that.
Usually at our Thanksgivings we cook way too much food, so I can hand out leftovers. I'd say that's the biggest part.
My friends' backs, support them.
Every day, at least I try to show my gratitude through kindness is usually the easiest for me, so I'll say something nice, or I'll just be positive around people, and that usually makes them happier. Like, in League Crew, and with some freshmen and sophomores that I have, I'll say hi to them, and they're like, oh cool, a senior boy said hi to me, that's fun. And it's nice. It makes me feel happy when I can see them smile, and I feel like that's a pretty good way.
Why do you think it's important to show gratitude?
Oh, it's super important to show gratitude, because if you don't, you lose the community feeling that Anacortes has. So Anacortes is a tight-knit community, and if you don't show that you're thankful for that, then we're no better than some of the other cities that aren't as tight as Anacortes is.
So they know they have someone to lean on when they need it, and so they can kind of feel good.
Because it makes the world a better place.
Remember to reflect this holiday season on everything you're thankful for, whether it be friends, family, or food, and show your gratitude. Have a great Thanksgiving, AHS.
We hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving break.
And don't forget, Green Club is inviting you to participate in the Turkey Trot on November 23rd, 9 a.m. at Washington Park.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Rock, and if you have any suggestions, please send us an email at therock@asd103.org.
Until next time, I'm Amelia Rury.
And I'm Jenna Stevens.
And from our rock to yours, have a great day, AHS.